Hi, everybody. Good evening and welcome to another edition of the Captain Lou Extravaganza. We are live here on 12 Ounce Sports and, of course, the Captain Lou Sports Network on YouTube and 12 Ounce Sports on YouTube, 12ouncesports.com. We are on all of the social media platforms, X, Facebook, Twitch, Instagram, you name it. We are there via 12 Ounce Sports. You can check us out on our Facebook page. Also, the Captain Lou Extravaganza Facebook page. Live as always here every week. It's great to be back in the chair. Had a wonderful time down in St. Louis for the ACHA National Championships. That's why we were off the air last week. Tried to do some live updates there, but unfortunately the internet feed and the Wi-Fi at the Centene Ice Center wasn't the greatest. We tried. It was buffered quite a bit. So again, I apologize about that. We got a couple of shows in, and as you could tell, the quality really wasn't up to the Captain Lou standards. But hey, it was a wonderful time had by all. 82 teams over 11 days, 40 games that I broadcasted play-by-play in color for. Absolute great time. Congratulations to all the champions, Adrian College in men's and women's D1, Indiana in D2, Lawrence Tech out of Southfield, Michigan in D3, and the only returning champion, the only back-to-back champion in women's Division II, that was Sioux College. Check out our ACHA Power Play broadcast next Tuesday night. We're going to have coaches from the winning teams. We're going to do a rundown of all the championships right there. And we got a couple of ACHA Power Plays left in this season. Our 8th season of bringing the ACHA Power Play will be coming to a close coming up the next couple of Tuesdays. So I invite you to subscribe to watch that one as well. So a lot to talk about here tonight. The first thing, of course, March Madness is here. Can you believe it? That's right. It's the big dance time. I know they had a couple of playing games last night. Of course, Virginia stunk to join up against Colorado State, another overrated ACC team by the wayside. Interesting pairings. We'll go through the brackets. We'll give you my picks. We'll run down through them here. And, I'm going to be the first to admit, full disclosure, I have no idea what I'm doing with these brackets. And I'll bring that back up when I show you my brackets. It's kind of crazy. My wife and I were talking earlier in the day, and I was telling a couple buddies of mine, the only college basketball game that I've watched this year in person, not even in person, live, was Michigan State, only because she watches them. I've been so engrossed with hockey and football, and of course the ACHA tournament the last month. I swear to goodness, I have not watched any college basketball. I haven't watched Purdue. I haven't watched UConn or North Carolina or anything. I'm just going on my likes and dislikes of teams. I read about it. I've read up about it. I don't know many of the players. So that's how out of touch I am with it. But I'll admit it. So all of these guesses that I'm making here tonight are going to be there. That's just what they are, guesses. I'm just going by hunches. And who knows, it might be the best I ever do on a board ever. I've won a couple of them over the years, but they've been few, and far between. So before we get into the brackets, a little bit of college basketball news for all of us here in the Michigan area. Our team, Michigan Wolverines, we're looking for a new basketball coach. Salute. I'll drink my water with my Michigan cup here. The Wolverines are looking for a new basketball coach. Juwan Howard is out, 8-24 this year. Probably a year or two too soon for him to get the boot. You and I know, and for those of you that watch me over the years, I do not advocate for a coach getting fired. I hate it. I hate seeing anybody lose their job. I don't care what profession, from truck driving to coaching to broadcasting to any job. I hate seeing anybody lose their job. But if somebody had to go, it had to be Juwan Howard. I mean, he's gotten away with so much crap in the last couple of years, taking a swing at a coach, being, threatening to his athletic staff, his trainer. It sounds like the atmosphere there was unbelievably bad. But above and beyond, his record speaks for itself. 8-24 is inexcusable. I don't care at what level you're at. But at the Big Ten level, it's the worst team they've ever had. I think it's the first time in 50 years that they finished in last place. And here's the thing that really stinks about it. Next year, you've got all these extra teams coming in the Big Ten: USC, UCLA, Oregon, Washington. And so there's going to be 18 teams in, and they're at the bottom. And that's not a good sign. That's a horrible sign for the for Michigan. So now, and their top two players have entered the portal. Doug McDaniel, which I'm not too upset about that. If the guy can't make it academically, then he shouldn't be there. You got to go to class. But they're a disaster there at Michigan, and I blame a lot of it on Ward Manuel, the athletic director. I mean, he should have fired Howard last year, especially after those incidents with the Wisconsin coach and everything else, the bully tactics. But Ward Manuel just let him go. And I think that I don't have any proof of this, but the way it sounded like earlier in the year, he was going to keep him another year. But I think finally some donors and some alums finally said enough is enough. It's time for a change. So I think my next question is, who's going to want to come and work for this guy? They're always saying Brian Dutcher maybe, or John Beilein is interested. I will be shocked if John Beilein gets another opportunity or he comes back to Michigan. Why would he want to work for Ward Manuel? That's my biggest question. Why would he want to do that? I know he loves Michigan, but I also know there's an opening at West Virginia where he coached at before Michigan. Why would he want to go? Why would he want to come back to Michigan with, or even college basketball in general, the way it is now? I look at a man like, with all the NIL and, the transfer portal and the paying of athletes, it's just a different world now. Why would he want to come back to that? It's crazy. I don't get it. But Juwan Howard is out as the head coach of Michigan, and the search is on. They claim there's going to be a national search. I don't know if they're going to come up with a committee, who they're going to give, but it's going to be very interesting to see who takes that job over. And they've got a Herculean task because there's a team about 60 miles northwest of them that isn't having one of their better years, but they are indeed the basketball king of Michigan right now. And that's Michigan State. Tom Izzo, he set a gold standard. I know he's not having one of his better years, but, it's like night and day. So it's going to be very, very interesting to see who they have coming or who's going to be the next coach at the University of Michigan. All right, let's get back to March Madness. Indeed, it's here. It's a fun time. Like I said, I'm not an expert on it. I've only watched a handful of games. And again, they've all been Spartan games. I've watched them play Michigan. I've watched them play Purdue. I've watched them play Illinois. And so earlier in the year, some of the mid-majors that they played. So, I mean, I'm going this pretty much blind. It's, like I said, I have no idea what I'm doing with these picks. So, again, don't kill the messenger on these. I'm just having fun with it. I'm coming in with no illusions of grandeur. I don't expect to win anything, but again, it's a fun time of year. It's the fun time of year for novices like me to watch basketball for a couple of days. I think Michigan State plays Missouri or Mississippi State right out of the chute. First game of the weekend tomorrow at 12:15. I know I got some guys I'm working with that are taking the day off, taking a voluntary layoff day to watch the game tomorrow. I should be home in time. I know I got to start super early tomorrow, so I should be home in time at least to catch the part of the first half. It's going to be an interesting bracket, but Michigan State and Mississippi State start right out of the chute tomorrow. Who's going to be the big upset? That's the crazy thing. So let's what I'm going to do is see if I can all right. Again, I'm on it a little bit. Let me see if I can bring up my bracket here. Why not? Let me show you what I got here. Okay. There's the first part of my bracket right there. So I'm just going to put this graphic up here and let's see what my upset picks are, even if I have any. All right. Of course, if you look at the East, how can you bet against UConn? They're going to try to do the first that has something that hasn't been done since 2006 and 2007 when Florida went all the way. I like Northwestern. I've watched them play. Boo Booey's going to win at least one game. In this bracket, I like Duquesne. Keith Dambrot coached at Central Michigan. He's retiring at the end of this year. I could see them winning their first game against BYU. Drake, they got one of the leading scorers in the league. I could see them potentially even beating Iowa State, but I'm not going to go with that. So in the South bracket, pretty chalk there. I kind of hemmed and hawed with James Madison. I saw what they did with Wisconsin, so I might flip that one yet before the tournament starts tomorrow. I'm really on the fence on that one. Vermont, they've been known to win a couple of upset games. Duke, I'm not 100% sold on Duke. I think they can get into the Sweet 16 only because I think they're playing pretty close to home. Texas Tech and NC State, don't know a whole lot about either team. I'm just going for the 6th seed. That's a very big upset potential there. Oakland and Kentucky, that's my upset pick right there just because I love Greg Kampe. He's been at Oakland for 40 years outside of Detroit. I'm picking them to go to the Sweet 16 just for kicks and giggles. I don't even know anything about Boise State or whoever's going to win that one. I'm going to go with actually, I think I'll change that one. I'm going to go with Florida. Marquette, what the heck? I think they're going to be pretty decent. I've got Marquette going all the way, if I'm not mistaken, to the Final Four. So if you look in the West, again, Michigan State and Mississippi State, that's a coin flip right there. I really don't know. St. Mary's and Grand Canyon, again, I'm going to ride the St. Mary's wagon. I think they're going to win a couple of games. They're going to go to the Sweet 16. Clemson and New Mexico, I might flip on that one. I don't know a whole lot about Clemson. Actually, there you go. I'm going to flip on that one. The more I look at it, the more I change my mind, right? Long Beach State, they're my huge upset special. Dan Monson, what a story. I think he's going to take them to the Sweet 16. I think they're going to get past Dayton and Arizona. They fired him on Monday, so he's basically coaching for nothing, coaching for free. I think he's going to win a couple of tournament games. They're going to play for him. Purdue, Utah State, McNeese, I like McNeese. Will Wade, I think he's getting a second lease on life, and he's got them playing real well. I've got them going to the Sweet 16. Kansas is going to win one game, but they're banged up. They've got Hunter Dickinson on that team. He gets in foul trouble easily. He's a head case. Oregon and South Carolina, I think Oregon's going to win. Creighton, I'm up and down on Creighton, but I think they can make it to the Sweet 16. Texas and Tennessee. So there you go. That's kind of what I'm thinking for my picks. My Final Four, I'm looking at North Carolina. I'm looking at UConn. I think Baylor's going to beat North Carolina. Then I got Marquette and I got Purdue. So, and then my championship pick, going with Purdue. The only reason I'm going with Purdue is, number one, to be antagonistic a little bit. Full disclosure, all the group text that I'm in, they can't stand Zach Edey. They think he gets away with everything. But in all honesty, the reason I'm going with Purdue is because I think that they are. I like the old school basketball that they're playing. I really do like it. I like just the way that it going inside. They're not just popping threes all the time, run and gun, whatever. I think they got better guard play. They're not freshmen anymore. And I just think that, they got a chip on their shoulder. There's a lot of pressure on them because they've been highly ranked every year. They get beat by double-digit seeds. A lot of pressure on them. But I think they can do it. And I filled out 2 brackets. My other one is UConn. I think they've got a really good chance of getting to the, back-to-back champions. But again, I'm just picking everything on hunches. I have no clue. No clue. I've been so wrapped up in hockey this year. Of course, the Lions in their playoff run, and college football with Michigan going to the championship game and winning. I mean, I've been laser focused on that. And the Red Wings, of course, doing good until their last fade. We'll talk about that after the break. But yeah, it's just a hunch. That's all it is. But my hunch might win me some cash. I hope so. Well, why not? Again, this is such a fun time of year for it. It's all, you got a novice like me and the experts are all going to be watching it. It's going to be fun to watch. If Michigan State beats Mississippi State on Thursday, they play North Carolina on Saturday. It's going to be a heck of a sports Saturday here in East Lansing because Michigan and Michigan State are playing in the NCAA Big Ten championship game for hockey at Munn in East Lansing. And by the way, tickets, the lowest ticket price right now on the secondary market is $800 a pop for that game. So that tells you how much of an importance that is here in East Lansing. Both teams are going to go to the NCAA playoffs for hockey, men's hockey. But yeah, $800 is the lowest price on the secondary market for the hockey game at Munn. Absolutely incredible. All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to switch gears. Speaking of hockey, we're going to talk about the Red Wings and what the hell is going on there. But first, let's take a watch. Tickets.12ouncesports.com. You want to go to any of the March Madness tickets, by the way, you can get your tickets through tickets.12ouncesports.com. We are ticket brokers, so we don't charge the fees that you see at some of these other secondary markets, SeatGeek and some of the other ones. Tickets.12ouncesports.com. You'll be happy that you did. So we'll be right back.
Do you need tickets? We have you covered. We have soccer from anywhere in the world. Any venue from any sports. That means we have college and professional football. We have baseball at every level. We have every Power 5 matchup. Remember, costumes and paints are optional. You want to see Broadway? We have them too. We have every concert from every artist. We have you covered at tickets.12ouncesports.com. Tickets for less.
Welcome to MyBookie. You're ready to create an account and start making money, and we're here to help. And remember, you can get a bonus of up to $1,000 on your first deposit. Now you're ready to bet. Just go to mybookie.ag, visit the sportsbook, click on your bet, and input the amount you want to risk or win in the bet slip. Yes, it's that easy. Just remember, at MyBookie, you play, you win, you get paid.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Captain Lou Extravaganza here on 12 Ounce Sports and, of course, on the Captain Lou Sports Network on YouTube. We invite you to be a subscriber to our YouTube channels, 12 Ounce Sports on YouTube and, of course, the Captain Lou Extravaganza on YouTube. We've got all of our shows on there archived, the Captain Lou Extravaganza, and, of course, also our ACHA Power Plays. We got two special ACHA Power Plays coming up left in Season 8. Then we're going to take a hiatus for the summer. Be back in the fall with season number 9 and our next road to St. Louis in 2025 in March. Again, we had such a heck of a 11-day stretch in St. Louis, 82 teams, all kinds of fans, all kinds of, the players, the coaches, everybody was so much fun to be around. And we're going to have interviews next week, the next couple of weeks with some of the champions of the 5 teams. Adrian College, men's and women's D1, Lawrence Tech in D3, Indiana, the Hoosiers in Division II for the men, and of course, Sioux College, the only repeat champion this year, and they were in women's D2. So check that out next week. But again, I remind you, check out 12ouncesports.com for all of our latest articles too. And we've got a complete list of all the live shows and broadcasts of sporting events that, with all the college lacrosse games that we've got coming up, college baseball and whatnot. We're growing, and it's going to be a fun ride. Can't wait to be more of a part of it. I want to thank Jeff Beck and the gang for, again, welcoming me back for a job. We got a job that it's not finished yet. And so excited to be back here on 12 Ounce Sports. All right, here we go. What happened to the Detroit Red Wings? Just before I went on my little hiatus, Detroit was walking tall, looking good in the first playoff position. Looked like they had it in the bag. And then two things. Dylan Larkin got hurt, and they put the garbage logo on their jerseys. I'm not blaming the garbage logo. I know it's bad. It might be bad luck. Everybody thinks that's what made him turn around. Larkin going out and, not playing his best, or he's been out injured, and Detroit just went in the tank. A 7-game losing streak, losing 2 of those games to bottom feeder Arizona. I feel so bad for my son Connor, my stepson Connor, who lives in Arizona, went down to the game, got tickets, and Detroit pulled an absolute stinker. I saw the score in the first period was like 4-0. I thought, what the hell's going on here? I mean, this is a tailspin. Last night they were at home to Columbus, and it was 2-0 out of the chute. They were losing. I thought, oh boy, here we go. Turned it back on. It was a 2-2 tie. Then they went behind 3-2. Didn't look good. I fell asleep, woke up. They won in overtime. That was a huge, huge win for Detroit. But I'm dumbfounded. What the hell has happened? Their goaltending has been, abysmal maybe. But I got to thinking about it, and okay, is there something that went horribly wrong? Or is maybe the luck finally run out on the Red Wings? And this is why I say that. They were leading 11 third period comebacks into overtime. That was leading the National Hockey League. Maybe that's the problem. Maybe it was a little bit fool's gold. I'm not taking anything away from what Yzerman's done. I think getting, Patrick Kane and, getting DeBrincat was huge. And some of the signings they made has been great. Getting Larkin back, I think, is going to be a huge presence to the locker room. But the more I thought about it, and I thought, well, they've won all these games, some of these monster comebacks that they've made, against the good teams and the not so good teams, maybe it's finally catching up to them. Well, right now, obviously, they sit in the second playoff spot. But the problem is the Washington Capitals have 2 games in hand and are only a point behind. Detroit's got a monster road swing coming up here. It's starting this weekend. They got a game tomorrow night with the Islanders in Detroit. Larkin's not going to play in that one, but they need to win this one. It is a must-win for tomorrow. They've got to win. If they lose to the Islanders tomorrow night, that's going to put them really behind the 8 ball. 13 games left in the regular season for Detroit. If I take a look at the standings real quick, they stand at 76 points. They're 4 points behind Tampa. Tampa's got a game in hand with them on them right now. Detroit's played 69 games. Some of these other teams, like the Washington Capitals, like we mentioned, they're only a point behind Detroit. They've got 2 games in hand on Detroit. They've only played 67 games. The Islanders have a game in hand on Detroit. They're 3 points behind. Even Buffalo starting to make a little bit of a run. But Detroit 2-8, their last 10. Gosh, even if they'd ifs and buts, if they'd have been 5-5 in their last 10, they'd be at 82 points, and we wouldn't be having this conversation. They would be right. They would be just behind the Maple Leafs. But now the Maple Leafs even have 2 games in hand with Detroit. So Detroit's only hope right now, in my opinion, is to hang on to get a wild card spot. You hear some of the people already talking, well, maybe they don't deserve to be a wild card team. Maybe they should. No. They've got to get in the playoffs somehow. They got to get some of that playoff experience, even if they get beat in the opening round. They have to do it, and I think they can. But they've got a long road to hoe. We talked about this. Check out the schedule that Detroit's got coming up. Again, they play the Islanders tomorrow night in Detroit, 7:00. Saturday they go to Nashville. They got to pull that one out. They got to get a win there. After that, they're at Washington, at Carolina, at Florida, at Tampa Bay. That's a murderer's row of a road trip right there. They got to somehow get 4 points out of those 4 games. They can do that, win it at Nashville and beat the Islanders. That would give them 8 points in this 6-game stretch. And that may not even be enough. But realistically, do you see them going into Washington and winning? Maybe getting a point. Do you see them going into Carolina and winning right now? Do you see them going into Florida and winning, or going to Tampa and winning? Then after that, they've got New York, Buffalo, and Washington at home. Then they go to Pittsburgh and Toronto. I'm telling you, this schedule is brutal coming up for the Red Wings. That's why this last trip was so imperative for them to get at least three more wins out of it. They have zero margin for error right now. Zero. And again, 3 weeks ago, if you'd have told me they'd have lost 7 in a row, 2-8 in their last 10, I'd have said you're crazy. No, I didn't know Larkin was going to be out. I get it. But boy, oh boy, who saw this one coming? I didn't. It's crazy. So, yeah, that's kind of what we're looking at for the Red Wings. Then we take a look at the standings right now in the NHL. Again, you look at it, you've got the Boston Bruins and the Florida Panthers. Boston's back up now. They in first. So it would be Detroit and Boston in the opening round if Detroit were to hang on, or potentially the Rangers. But the Maple Leafs are in third, looking pretty good. Then in the Metropolitan Division, you got the Rangers and the Hurricanes duking it out, both with 69 games, 2-point difference there. Then you got the Flyers sitting pretty good at 78 points. They played 69 games. The Capitals, though, they've got 2 games in hand on them, too. Don't sleep on them to potentially sneak in to that third spot and put the Flyers back into play in the wild card round. Then we mentioned Tampa Bay with the first wild card, 80 points. They got a game in hand on Detroit. They're at 68. You got the Red Wings right now sitting in the playoff spot, but very, very precariously. Like I said, they don't win tomorrow, it's going to be trouble. Washington, let's check and see. I don't know if Washington's playing tonight. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Are they playing tonight? We got 3 games. Yes, they're playing the Maple Leafs at 7:30. So that's going to be a huge game right there. So we'll keep an eye on that one. But yeah, it's you got the other games tonight: Coyotes and Stars, Wild at the Kings. But yeah, it's pretty precarious for the Red Wings. In the West, Winnipeg and Colorado are tied for first. Winnipeg's got a game in hand on the Avalanche. We talked about it at the beginning of the year. If you would have told me that Winnipeg would be leading this division with 14 games to go, I'd have said you're nuts. Dallas now is in third place. In the Pacific, the Canucks, the Oilers are 8 points ahead of the Oilers. The Oilers with that horrible start, but they're 7-1-2 in their last 10. The Kings are at 81 points. The wild card teams, Nashville, right now the number 1 wild card team with 69 games played, 84 points. Then you got the Golden Knights at 79 points in a wild card, the second wild card spot. The Stanley Cup champions are in danger of possibly getting knocked out. They'll probably hang on, but the crazy thing is they would play either Vancouver or Winnipeg in the opening round. Connor Hellebuck's doing great in goal for Winnipeg, but can he keep it up? And he almost got traded. So, yeah, interesting. Then you've got the Minnesota Wild right behind them and St. Louis. So, yeah, that's kind of what the standings are looking like right now in the NHL. So, just kind of an update on that right now. Okay. Well, we're going to take one more break. When we come back, we'll just take a look at a couple of the other things going on in the world of sports. But before we go to break, you see these games I just talked about, some of the games that you can watch. If you want tickets to them, make sure you go to tickets.12ouncesports.com. That's all there is to it. We are a ticket broker. We can get you the best ticket prices anywhere, and you're not going to pay the exorbitant amount of fees that you get with these other secondary markets. We've got NCAA tournament tickets right now. We got NHL. We got NBA games, Major League Baseball games, everything you want in all the pro sports, major college, you name it. That is tickets.12ouncesports.com. Well, hey, don't listen to me tell you. Let's take a listen to this. We'll be right back to wrap things up right here on the Captain Lou Extravaganza.
Do you need tickets? We have you covered. We have soccer from anywhere in the world. Any venue from any sports. That means we have college and professional football. We have baseball at every level. We have every Power 5 matchup. Remember, costumes and paints are optional. You want to see Broadway? We have them too. We have every concert from every artist. We have you covered at tickets.12ouncesports.com. Tickets for less.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Captain Lou Extravaganza. We are live here on 12 Ounce Sports, and of course, the Captain Lou Extravaganza, or the Captain Lou Sports Network Facebook page. And as mentioned, you can follow us on X at the Real Captain Lou at 12 Ounce Sports. Subscribe to the Captain Lou Sports Network channel on YouTube, the 12 Ounce Sports YouTube channel, the Captain Lou Extravaganza Facebook page, 12 Ounce Sports on Instagram, Twitch, Facebook. We're all over. And that is 12 Ounce Sports. Check out our latest articles on 12ouncesports.com, previewing the baseball season coming up, previewing March Madness, all you need to know in the world of sports. That is right here on 12 Ounce Sports. We're bigger and better than ever. We're getting bigger and better every day. We've got live sporting events coming on. It's just the tip of the iceberg. It's going to be a great year. Glad to be a part of it here on 12 Ounce Sports. So I invite you to check out 12ouncesports.com. It's got a complete lineup. It'll tell you all of our live shows, Primetime Live with Philly Pete. This just happened with our godfather, Jeff Beck. The Daily Dive with Michael Caravallis, talking the only live lacrosse show in the country every day, 1 o'clock Eastern time, right here on 12 Ounce Sports. And again, you can catch the replays on our YouTube channel all the time. That's here on 12 Ounce Sports. Hey, the Captain Lou Extravaganza, again, also is brought to you by tonight, JaviCoffee.com. How many of you are instant coffee lovers, or you like coffee in general? Are you like me? Got to have it every day, multiple cups. Well, if you like it, you want an easy, clean way to do it. You don't have to worry about coffee grounds. A couple of teaspoons, hot or cold. If you like it iced, if you like it hot, whatever. Go to JaviCoffee.com. They've got all the flavors you might want. They've got regular decaf, French vanilla, that's my favorite, Irish cream, a mint flavored. They've got salted caramel, you name it. Check it out. Don't take my word for it. Go to JaviCoffee.com. And like it says on the bottom of the screen, use the promo code Captain Lou and you'll get 15% off of your purchase. That is JaviCoffee.com. It is the best. I'm telling you, it's great. I love it. Love the French vanilla. You got to try it. That's JaviCoffee.com. All right, again, you're watching the Captain Lou Extravaganza. We're wrapping things up here today as we're going to be back at our normal time next week, 7 o'clock on Wednesday. So make sure you stay tuned for our next show. Next week, we're going to have a complete preview of the Major League Baseball season. We've got a couple of people in the works to potentially get on for the baseball preview, and we're going to go through the Sweet 16 with another guest next week. It's been kind of a crazy week to find guests this week, just getting back in town from the national tournament for the ACHA. So I'm kind of a little, not really jet lagged, but my voice was still not 100% yesterday after calling 40 games. Back today, back and better than ever. And again, we got 2 great shows lined up next week. But next week on Wednesday, we're going to talk Major League Baseball and the Sweet 16 exclusively with a couple of great guests. But I'll bet you didn't know that Major League Baseball started today. If you did know, it was the Dodgers and the Padres over in Korea. And the Dodgers won. And so they get the season kicked off. They're going to play another game tomorrow, I think. Then they don't play again for a week. Kind of a weird setup. Still don't know why they started it so far early, but Major League Baseball started today. So, yeah, that's crazy. And so they're going to get underway next week, the end of March. I still don't get why they start so early. I mean, I know Detroit starts out in New York playing the Mets. They go to another cold weather stadium. I can't remember what it is. So it's going to be 40 degrees. Detroit's home opener is April 5th, I believe. And I guarantee you they'll get at least one snow out before the season really kicks into high gear and it gets warm here in Detroit. Never fails every year. Now, I understand in April you're going to get hit and miss here in Michigan and some of the other cities, Chicago, Toronto, wherever, Cleveland, Cincinnati. I get it. Starting in April isn't something new, but starting in March, are you serious? It's all because, they don't want to play double headers, or if they do, they're day night, which means you got to pay double admission, which to me is the most asinine thing that they ever invented, the greediest thing that they ever invented, but that's Major League Baseball. So we're going to preview that all in earnest next week. Can't wait to do that. So make sure you watch the Captain Lou Extravaganza next week for more on that. All right, we're going to end our show tonight with we're going to talk a little NFL. How many of you saw the moves this weekend, especially the one in Pittsburgh where they traded for Justin Fields? I was sitting in a hockey rink and I saw that on my phone and I went, I'd do a double take. 6th round pick for Justin Fields. A 4th if I think he plays 50%. Interesting quarterback room that Pittsburgh's got now. Trubisky's gone. Pickett's gone. Mason Rudolph is gone. Now they got the drama queen or drama king, whatever you want to call him, Russell Wilson. And now they got Justin Fields. I think Pittsburgh did great because I guarantee you, I will predict it right now, March 20th, 2024, Justin Fields will be the quarterback of the Pittsburgh Steelers by week 7. He'll be the starting quarterback. They had to promise Russell Wilson to get him there on the league minimum or whatever, 1.5, that he'd be the starter. So he's going to be the starter in training camp, and then he's going to be the starter day 1. But you got a guy like Justin Fields there who I think he's obviously he's going to do much better than he did in Chicago. I think he's going to. But here's the thing. Pittsburgh only giving up a 6th round pick. If neither one of them works out, they can move on from him. Because Fields is at the end of his contract. If he does good, he can get a bigger payday. I get it. But I think it's a great move by Pittsburgh. Will it be enough to win that division? I doubt it. Because you've got Joe Burrow in Cincinnati. You've got Lamar Jackson in Baltimore. I mean, and even Deshaun Watson, I don't know. But you got Cleveland with some talent. I think Pittsburgh probably is the 3rd or 4th best team in that division. But they always find a way to get in the playoffs. So, yeah, they probably could. But, I don't get it. I like the Lions with their linemen that they've signed up both on offense and defense. I think the Lions have done great. Some other teams have done fantastically too. Chase Young signed with the New Orleans Saints for $13 million. He's going in for a neck procedure. The way the money is thrown around now, it's insane. It's crazy. So, yeah, the draft is coming up in about a week. I know the NFL free agency has been hot and heavy, and we'll get more into that next week as well. We got a lot to talk about next week here on the show. The Sweet 16. How are your brackets looking? Are you ready for March Madness? March Madness is definitely here. Are you ready for it? Enjoy the basketball. I'm going to get into it this weekend. Should be some fun games. Hoping there's a few upsets. I'm going with Purdue as my national champion. I don't know if it's smart, whatever. And on the ladies' side, how can you go against South Carolina? They're a machine. I've watched them play. I have watched them play on TV a little bit. They're amazing. Somebody said how great they are. Obviously, Caitlin Clark, she steals the headlines with Iowa, justifiably so. She's obviously the best player in our generation or last couple generations. I think you got to go back maybe to Cheryl Miller. One wonders what she would have did with a 3-point shot, but South Carolina, to me, the only way they're going to lose is if they beat themselves. They have just an abhorrent day shooting, but I think they can handle anybody. So there you go. All right, that's going to do it here for the show tonight. I want to thank everybody for taking time out to be with us here tonight. Again, March Madness definitely is here. This reminder, if you want to go to any of the games, go to tickets.12ouncesports.com. We are a licensed ticket broker. We are your answer for any major ticket that you want to go see, any game you want to see. And we've got all the events covered. That's tickets.12ouncesports.com. Can't say it enough. All right, that's going to do it. We thank you for joining us. Enjoy March Madness, everybody. We'll get you ready for baseball next week. It's just around the corner. Enjoy the NHL games. Hopefully the Red Wings can turn it around and save their season. We'll wait and see. Until next Tuesday and Wednesday, Captain Lou saying keep your heads up, keep your sticks down, keep your feet moving, and as always, keep your minds open. Thanks for joining us here on the Captain Lou Sports Network and, of course, 12 Ounce Sports. We'll see you next time. So long, everybody.